Okay, so right off the top, this video is gonna be about me begging for money. So if your ass is broke, you might as well keep pushing to the next video. Well, you can do what you want. Actually, I'm gonna be talking about some overall reactor philosophy, like my personal philosophy on reaction channels and earning money and all this stuff. After I beg for money, so I'll put a timestamp above if you want to skip past the begging part. Once I get up off my knees, then I'll talk about some other general shit you might give a shit about. Just one person's perspective on reaction channels and shit. So, but that'll be later. First, let's get to the begging. All right, now that the broke motherfuckers are gone, basically what's happening is I'm in a terrible financial situation right now. It's too long to go into. Essentially involves what happened with dad and lose. That's why I'm in a different location now. I lost the house, and so I'm pretty fucking broke. If I don't raise $240 by May 24th, then I'm going to lose the memory storage website capacity over on Patreon, which means I'm going to lose 2 years worth of videos. We're talking about reactions to the entire Wire series, reactions to the entire Fargo series, Mr. Robot, Black Mirror. Those are just the finished series. Then it's every reaction I've ever done that's been hosted over there. Now, some of these reactions are like, full reactions that get pointed over to YouTube. Those I'm not going to lose. But I'm paying $240 a year for this website to host all these extra videos that YouTube would be blocking. Because the reactions over there, they're really long and shit. So it's like 40 minutes, counting my intro and outro and stuff. So we're getting probably talking 30 minutes of actual show videos on these videos. So it's a lot of shit. I would lose all that. I would still have Patreon, and I would still be able to do like full reactions or things that YouTube doesn't block. But I would probably lose a great large percentage of the people that are over there because they're there for the stored reactions. Go binge my entire series, me doing The Wire, the entire series. A lot of people, I assume that's a lot of the attraction. So I'd lose a lot of Patreon money is my point. If that happens, then I'd have to go get a real job, and then I won't be able to put out very many videos. I've done the math. I'd probably be able to put out 4 or 5 exclusive videos for Patreon, and 2 videos for this channel and 1 video for the other channel per week, and that's about it. So it'd probably be like a 60 to 70% reduction in what I'm able to produce right now, because I'm probably doing 15 different videos a week. Something like that. I haven't actually added that part of it. But it would drastically reduce what I could do if I'm working 40 hours a week at like Walmart or something. So that's basically the situation. I'm trying to raise $240 in about a month. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm offering commissions. Now, one way you can support me is you can just go over and sign up on Patreon. There's a tier. If you get the $5 tier, you'll be able to watch all the previous reactions I was talking about. That's all the exclusive reactions. They go up to $5, right? You'll also be able to see a bunch of movies. I've got like 50 movies that I've reacted to over there. If you do the $15 tier, and there's a few of those left, then you'll be able to get either 1 movie and 1 episode of TV a month, or 2 movies 1 month, 1 movie next month, and 2 movies 1 movie, like that, right? So if you just like movie reactions, then you can see 3 movies every 2 months on the $15 tier. And then the $35 tier, you can do a season of a TV series, 1 episode a week. So in other words, if there's 4 weeks in a month, you get four episodes of that TV show. 5 weeks in a month, you get 5 episodes, whatever, right? It's for as long as you remember. So you can go to Patreon. That's a quick and easy way to do it. Or you can Venmo me money. I've got a Venmo link below. I've also got an email address link below, so you can email me and ask questions. If you just want to support it without like getting anything from it, you can Venmo me a donation, and I do take donations. I can thank you, or if you ever want me to do something down the line, if you want me, if there's a movie that comes out later you want me to watch and you would donate it, just let me know. I got you covered. Or like I said, you can commission, and the commission price ranges are $5 for an episode of a TV show, $10 for a movie, $15 for a movie if I have to rent the movie. Now, the difference in that is I have HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime. So if the movie is on one of those services, and a lot of times people ask me for a movie and they're not on any of those services. So if they're on one of those services, no problem. $10, you're covered. But if I have to rent the movie from YouTube, it's going to come around about $3 or $4 to rent it. So that'll be $15. So like I said, email me if you have any questions or if you want to talk about a movie. Now, you probably shouldn't Venmo me the money first. You should probably email me first. Just touch base with me, find out what's going on, what movies you want to look at. There's also going to be a link below to a page where I've listed some movies I haven't seen. So you can go to that page and that'll give you some idea of some stuff. Like maybe there'll be some on there you want me to react to. The last thing I'll say about that is as far as commissions go, first come, first serve. So I'll be doing probably one commission per week from here on out. And we're trying to, like I said, we're trying to raise a certain amount of money to keep my Patreon going so I can just produce as much content as possible. So that's the main goal. And obviously, yeah, you will get your reaction out sooner or later. It'll be on an open link on Patreon. If you're not part of Patreon, you'll be able to go there and you'll be able to watch the extended version that YouTube will not block. So that's how it works. But if you come in like a week later and you're 20th down the list, it may take a while before I get around to you. Just so you know. But if you email me, I can let you know how long the list is so far. So if you want to help support the channel and you want to keep things up and running like they have been, maybe even more than they have been, then more on that in a minute. A donation, sign up for a Patreon, or you can commission a piece of reaction for me. So, all right. Now, having said all that, let's talk more generally. My general thoughts on making money as a reaction channel specifically. There's been a lot of videos out. I think recently I saw several videos come out. Somebody famous or somebody who was big in the industry was mostly talking about Twitch, I think. But also talking about here that reaction channels are stealing content. And it was interesting, too, because I actually had a comment recently where somebody was able to go to my Patreon and see links because Patreon gives you a sneak preview of, I think 140 characters. And so if my post just had links to episodes, you could, copy paste it into a browser or something and go watch the episode without being on Patreon. And so somebody had left a comment to let me know that people could do this. And I'd already known about that. Like when I first started Patreon, I realized that, they had a preview. And for a while I was just saying stuff like, community early access to cover up so it wouldn't show the links. And I'm just too busy. I have too much going on. So I don't remember to go down and change that. But my overall view as far as that goes, say somebody watching something they're not supposed to watch if they're not signed up for Patreon, is I don't give a shit if somebody does that. Yeah, I will try to prevent it if I remember, but I don't care enough about it to remember. Because here's my overall view on piracy in general. Companies, big money companies want you to think piracy steals a lot of money from them. And I just don't believe it does. Two reasons. Number one, either the person pirating something was never going to pay for it. The only way they would watch it is if it's free. The person who was secretly watching my links was never going to sign up for Patreon. So what harm is there in them watching my shit? Because they were never going to, in other words, I was never going to get any money from, if I completely prevent them from being able to watch my shit unless they sign up for Patreon, they're not going to sign up for Patreon. So I was never going to get that $5 from them, ever. So that being the case, the fact that I'm never going to get any money from them, ever, what harm are they doing by watching something? You see what I mean? This is just how I see it. Now, maybe there's ethical considerations, whatever. But I'm talking about purely from how I look at it. And yes, I will try to prevent them from doing it. But if they found a way, if I neglect it, and I forget to cover up that preview page, and they go and they watch it, and without paying me, I'm not all mad and offended. Oh my God, they're stealing money from me. They're not stealing money from me because they were never going to give me the money. I was never going to get it. They would just do without. They would just not watch it. In that case, I think it's a victimless crime. It's not something I would do. I would never go to somebody's Patreon page and then copy paste some shit and just watch it without paying for it. I wouldn't do that. But I don't feel like if somebody does it, they're stealing. If they were never going to watch it. If they were never going to pay for Patreon, I just don't think there's a person out there that's I would pay this $3 to watch this video. But since he's got it for free, I think I'll just watch it for free. I just don't think anybody does that. Now, as far as the big business goes, say you pirate the new Spider-Man movie. In my experience, I've talked to a lot of people who I think they call it BitTorrent. I've talked to a lot of people who BitTorrent movies, who illegally download shit. Everybody I've talked to, now there could be, I'm sure there are exceptions, but everybody I've talked to, when the official DVD comes out, they buy the DVD. Or when it officially comes on streaming, they get it's on their streaming service they're already paying for. So, in other words, eventually they will pay for what they were illegally watching. And even if they wouldn't, again, I will say, I don't think that, the fact that they were able to watch it ahead of time illegally prevented them from ever paying to watch it. I don't think so, unless it's a terrible ass movie. Now maybe that has happened. I think what you do, the reason you pirate it is you're in a hurry to watch it now at home. You don't want to go to the movie theater. That's why you're doing it. Like you would buy it later, but since there's a way to watch it ahead of time, that's what you do. That's just what I believe. So I don't think they're stealing money. The people who illegal download all the shit are still going to buy it later because they want the DVD back when especially back when DVDs were really big. Hell, a friend of mine just bought the Spider-Man DVD this week because he wanted all the special features. So, because think about it, a lot of people watch these movies in theaters, and then when the DVD comes out, they buy the DVDs. So you're telling me instead of watching it in theaters, if they had pirated it, they wouldn't then go buy the DVD? Of course not. People want to see shit more than once. They want to see it immediately when it's first out, when everybody's talking about it, and there's all this hype. Then they want to see it later at their own leisure at home. So they want both. So I just don't believe, as far as movies go, pirating is stealing money. And companies want you to believe it is, right? Oh my God, they're stealing so much money. We've lost this much money in revenue. It's not like Walmart. They lose $100 million of merchandise, actual physical merchandise that got produced, gets stolen from their buildings. That is stealing money. Stealing something that can be endlessly duplicated that you were going to pay for later anyway, it's just not stealing. So I said that to say this. I also have that philosophy about reaction channels. Nobody in the history of the world is ever going to see a reaction to a movie in lieu of watching the original movie. First of all, nobody's going to watch a reaction to something they haven't seen before. Period. It's not going to fucking happen. And even if it did, they wouldn't make up for the fact they haven't seen this movie by watching a reaction to it. Nobody does it. It's just, no, nobody does it. So that's not stealing content. That reaction channel showing footage is not keeping somebody from going out and buying that product, the TV series, whatever. It's not happening. I look at it like a reaction channel is like watching highlights, sports highlights. I watch a Colts game. Then you know what I do that night? I go to ESPN, I watch the highlights. I watch people watch the best plays, and show me the highlights, and they talk about those highlights they just saw. That's what a reaction channel is. It's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more in depth. We're getting more of the original content in most cases, but that's essentially what it is. It's a highlight reel. And nobody's talking about highlights on ESPN is stealing money from Fox who showed the football game. Because it's not. Nobody's going to watch the highlights instead of watching the game. If they miss the game, they'll watch the highlights. But it's like, you know what? These highlights are going to be on at 11 o'clock tonight. Let me skip the game. Nobody in the history of the fucking world has ever done that. Same with reaction channels. That's why, in a nutshell, reaction channels are not stealing content. Because nobody's watching that shit instead of buying the original product. Not happening. Now, there are some more complicated legal issues there. Just ask Xerox. If you don't try to protect what's yours, you can fucking lose it. Just ask Xerox. So yeah, there are other complicated legal issues why they may try to fight it or copyright strike it or whatever. I'm just specifically talking about the argument that it is stealing content. That reaction channels are stealing content. That's what I'm talking about. That's, nobody will ever convince me of that. Not just because I have a reaction channel. I felt this way. I was a reaction channel fan first, before I ever started a reaction channel. I felt that way then. I feel that way now. Okay, one more thing. As far as me personally and money and stuff, I can't speak for other reaction channels. Specifically not talking about reaction channels where, like the Normies and Blind Wave, where it's an actual corporation, like they're a business. They have editors who they pay. They may have camera operators. They have tech guys. They have website guys. I think they have websites that people run this. They have social media people, graphic arts people who make all the thumbnails and shit. They have a staff. They have a team of people. That's a different situation. I don't know anything about that. But reaction channels are as small as I am. I'm a one-man operation. I do everything. This is what I'm talking about specifically. For me, all the money does that I make on this, it allows me more time to do this. I spend all the time I have available either recording, editing, exporting, uploading reactions. That's it. Pretty much all the time. I have, it takes an hour to export something, so that's some downtime. Maybe I take a nap. Maybe I eat something, or play a video game or something like that, whatever, while it's exporting. Sometimes it's uploading, I play a little video game or something. So I get downtime during the day, don't get me wrong. But I spend 14 or more hours per day doing this. Something that's involved with work. Most days. Now, the more money I make, the more time I can spend doing this, because I do have a side hustle. I drive some people around, and that's how I make my rent money. I didn't have to do this before, but now with my new living situation, I have to pay rent. So I drive some people around. If I was to make enough money where I could pay rent without having to drive people around, that'd be another 10 hours a week I could spend on this. Think about 10 hours, man. That's like another 2, 3, 4 videos. Well, not 4, probably. Probably another 3 videos. I found a perfect analogy for the small channels. Think about some movie you enjoy watching. You enjoyed watching a movie last night. You've got it on DVD, and you want your mother or your friend or your lover or somebody to watch it with you. You want to enjoy the experience of them watching a movie with you. So you walk in the living room, and there's your mom or whoever. And you say, hey, you want to watch this movie with me? She said, baby, I'd love to, but first, I've got to clean the living room. I've got to fold all the laundry that's all over all these sofas and stuff like that. Then I have to go into the kitchen, wash all the dishes, and start making dinner. And since I'm only one person, and those are 2 different rooms with 2 different sets of activities, it's going to be 4 hours before I can watch something with you. It's going to take 2 hours in the living room and 2 hours in the kitchen. And then you say, hey, what if I do the living room work while you're doing the kitchen work? It'll only take you 2 hours. She says, okay, bet. In 2 hours, we'll watch the movie. She does the kitchen shit. You do the living room shit. You're done in 2 hours. Then you get the pleasure of her watching this movie with you. 2 hours sooner than you would have gotten it if you just kicked back. YouTube and the people that are up YouTube's asses about copyright strikes and all this shit, they want you to believe what you've just done there is you've negotiated. You're paying her with labor so that she will watch something with you. That's not what just happened there. What just happened there is she has shit to do before she can do something that you want her to do. You want her to do it faster. So you took on half of her work so that it would take her less time so that she'll be ready to watch something with you faster. You didn't trade labor for her doing this. She's going to watch it with you either way. The only thing is you changed the time it'll take for her to watch it with you. It's only going to take her 2 hours instead of 4 hours. That's all you did. You didn't trade labor for her doing it. She's going to do it anyway. It's just you're making it happen faster. That's all it is. Everybody understands that. Nobody, like I said, I'm going to keep using blanket statements here, but I'm going to keep doing it. Nobody would hear the scenario I just said and be like, yeah, he traded unpaid labor so she would watch something with it. No. Just trying to speed up the process. That's what you're doing when you give money to a smaller reaction channel. They're going to get around to whatever it is you want to see. It's just going to take a really long fucking time. When you give a small channel money, they can get to the content faster than they want it. Corporate America, YouTube, and the copyright Gestapo want you to believe you're paying the reaction channel money for copyrighted content. That's not what's happening. You're paying them money so they will get it to you faster. They're going to do it either way, at least I am. Everything I've released, I would eventually do. It would just take me a lot longer if I was making no money because I'd have a real job. And then I can do the level I'm doing right now, I can do even faster if I have more money. All you're doing is you're paying for convenience. You're not paying for the actual thing. Now, I know this wouldn't pass muster in a court of law. A judge and a good attorney would say, oh, that's just double talk. It's the same thing. Maybe so. But I'm not talking in a court of law. I'm talking like in the court of common sense. The court of common sense is the content's going to be released sooner or later, regardless of whether you pay money. You're paying money so it happens faster. Just like with your mother and with the laundry. So that's what I'm saying. So for me, all the money will do is the money will allow me to spend more time doing what people like to see. And like I said, not for other people. If they're making a large amount of money, then they're starting to make profit. Now, yeah, if I made enough money, maybe I could get a better microphone, a better lighting situation. A second computer would be monstrous. If I could get a second computer, I could have that computer exporting stuff while I'm in here, in this room, recording or editing. That would double my week. I would be able to do twice as much. Because so much of my time right now is taken up by the fact I only have one computer. So for me, the money will go back into anything I make above the $240. As a matter of fact, my stretch goal is $500 because for $500, instead of 20 gig a week storage space, I get 50 gig a week. Unlimited for the year. So that would be incredible. I would be able to do 2.5 times more videos per week hosted on their website over on Patreon. That'd be awesome. That's my stretch goal. But we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm just trying to scrape by and just trying to, not get to my shit canceled next month. So anyway, that's the call to action. If you want to help support the channel, keep the same amount or more videos going out. This also answers the question if anybody's wondering why, like, I'm kind of inconsistent with some of my uploads. Community and all this stuff is because, I'm doing have to do stuff. Okay, well, I really wanted to finish this community edit, but I have to go drive somebody for some money right now or something, shit like that.